Hey, what's up guys? This is Modifieds here. I just got done sharpening the aggressor grind hinder that we've got right here, and want to share with you my experience sharpening it on the wicked edge. And as you can see, got a very nice mirror polished finish on here. Finished off with the 0.050 micron on kangaroo leather, and I'm going to share with you the settings I used to get this, and talk about sharpening, stuff like that. So how I mounted this in the wicked edge, in case you have an aggressor, what I did was placed it in there. Since there's no flat spot on the spine, you got to set this in the wicked edge. Place your angle meter on the edge right here, and then tilt the knife back and forth until you get it perfectly level. That will ensure that you get a perfectly even bevel along this main edge right here. And then what I used for this angle right here, I had to use two different angles between this one and this one. This right here was done at 20 degrees per side, and then the front tip there was done at 26 degrees per side. Now since the tip is much thicker, there's more steel, even at 6 degrees more than this right here, the bevel is slightly larger. That is because with the new arms I could not go past 26 degrees. To match this, I think I should have used 28 or 30 degrees. So the bevels aren't perfectly the same width, which they weren't perfectly the same width when on Hinder's factory edge anyways, but it would have been nice to have it the same. Now of course, as always, the edge is hair whittling sharp, as you'd expect. I've yet to get an edge that wasn't hair whittling sharp on the wicked edge, so see if I can just show you real quick. Got a hair there. Just shaved off a curly Q off of that hair. Let me get this closer. There's another one. There's another one. So you get the drift. I have a lot of videos of whittling hair, so yeah. Always get a hair whittling sharp edge on the wicked edge. Here's a close-up of the finish. Now originally wasn't planning to do a mirror polish, that's why you still see some scratches in the edge. Because to get those scratches out, I think you need to spend much more time on the ceramics to get rid of those scratches left by the diamonds. But it's still very nice mirror polished. I see a lot of people are really scared of sharpening customs, especially in this price range, and I think that holds true if you maybe just own a sharp maker or some other, maybe a bench stone. But if you do have the wicked edge, I don't see that as decreasing the value of the knife. I know a lot of people focus on trying to get knives that haven't been sharpened, but there's a right way to sharpen it, and it is possible on the wicked edge. Very possible. Now the way I sharpen this, I took off the very minimal amount of material as necessary to get this the way it is. I did not form a burr at all when sharpening. I used a microscope to look at the edge to make sure that I was just at the apex of the edge, and then went on to the next grit, looked at it under a microscope, make sure all the previous scratches are gone, then go to the next grit. So there's no wasted metal. I matched the edge the best I could to Hinder's factory edge. I mean, this is a knife, a very rare grind, specifically designed for self-defense. You have a very thick tip, so penetration into anything is very possible without breakage of the tip. Now I hear how Rick Hinder sharpens his knives, and I hear it only takes a few seconds for him to sharpen a knife, and the way they sharpen it is rushing, you know. Just hurry up, put an edge on there. They have a lot of knives to make, and I mean, I hear Rick just a few seconds takes him to sharpen an edge, and I think that taking your time sharpening it on a sharpener would add to the value of the folder. I mean, it took me 6 hours, believe it or not, to sharpen this. Now the reason it took so long was trying to keep, because you want this edge perfectly straight across, and the way it was sharpened, it wasn't perfectly straight across. It was a little uneven, and on the tip there it wasn't perfectly straight even. So keeping that as straight as you can, and that you need to take your time, be patient, and make sure that corner where those two angles meet is, you got a perfect angle there. There's no round. So if you look at that corner right there where those two angles meet, how it's got a perfect angle on there, it's not rounded, because if you're not careful and you roll the stone over that corner, you'll end up rounding that corner off. So you got to be very careful on Tantos. That corner is very important if you want to keep it looking like it's supposed to. So you got a perfectly straight edge going that way and then downward the way it was designed. Now I get comments every now and then saying that an hour is way too long to sharpen a knife, and this took 6 hours. But I mean, I started at 12 o'clock in the midnight and it got done at around 6 a.m. in the morning. I mean, I wasn't sitting there the whole time 6 hours without getting up. I got up every now and then to, you know, drink some water, check emails and stuff like that. But it was pretty much constant work, just listen to the radio. You know, time goes by pretty fast when you're on the wicked edge. I mean, it's not like it was labor intensive, and I was, you know, just, it was pretty much an enjoyable experience. When you're doing something you like to do, you don't really pay attention to time. Well, anyways, I get comments every now and then saying that an hour is way too long to sharpen a knife, but I mean, I hear them say that they could sharpen a knife much faster on a bench stone or on a random knife sharpener or a pull-through sharpener, or they say that this wicked edge is a waste of time and money if it takes that long to sharpen and it costs that much. But I mean, to those people, how would you sharpen a $3,000 knife? That is my question. I mean, if you have lower end knives, I can imagine doing that, but when you get into higher end things that cost more, you do not want to use a pull-through sharpener or a bench stone. You wouldn't use a bench stone on something like this. I'm not saying there aren't people that do that, but I personally would not. Alright, let's talk about more of the settings that I used. So you set it in there, set it in the bottom holes, and I put it on letter B1/2, and then you clamp it down, put your angle guide on there, make sure this is level, and then clamp it in there tight. Use 20 degrees on this, 26 degrees here, and on this part of the edge it was pretty much matched up already, but I had to take off more material over here on the tip, so I started with the 50 and 80 and then went all the way up through 100, 200, 400, 600, 800, 1000, and then from there went to the microfine and the extra microfine new ceramic stones that the Wicked Edge has. Now it's my understanding that these are supposed to be next, the 1200 grit stones, and then these microfine ceramics come afterwards, but the scratch pattern on these are actually, these actually polish the edge more than these. So after the 1000 I used these, and then the 1200, 600, then taped on 2000 and 2500 grit sandpaper to these, and then from there we use the strop, the 3.5 and 5 micron leather strops, and then the 0.25 and 0.5 micron diamond spray, which are these right here on leather strops, and then the 0.125 and 0.050 on the kangaroo leather. And then with that, you get a hair whittling edge that's mirror polished. And if you were to carry this for self-defense, it would be a perfect knife for that. I mean, if a thief tried to rob you and he had no weapon, or maybe just a knife, and you pulled this out, you got a nice mirror polished edge on there. I'm sure he'd think twice before doing anything. That's a scary picture right there. Well, that's it, guys. Just want to share that with you. It's about an hour before New Year, so stay safe, and see you guys later.